Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Worth Jr. A little fired up tonight. I really thought this channel would end. I thought I would end it when the election came and went, regardless of the results. But it's I'm just getting a little fired up about things, and I don't know why. I don't know why this is surprising to me that he's doing the things that I said he was going to do for 11 weeks. And all I based it on was what he already did the first time he was in office. So when I read about the new head of his EPA, again, a guy whose main focus is to destroy the environment, he does it again. he and the man, like, saying he won by this historic whatever, a commenter, a longtime commenter, faithful commenter, points out great things. Not sure if I get the name right, but it looks like Yelena is her name, and she pointed out some numbers in a comment on a video or two ago, and it was just pointing out the number of eligible eligible voters, not registered voters, eligible voters. It's like 244, and I looked this up myself as well after her comment. 244 million eligible voters in the United States, and 75 million vote for Trump. That's 30.7% of eligible voters. It's not even 1 out of every 3 Americans eligible to vote elected him. That is not any mandate. That is not any permission to do anything. That is not any endorsement. That is nothing. That is less than a third of the voters. He barely got more voters than he got 4 years ago. It's like 74 million something last time, 75 million this time. I still don't know. It's still just a huge head scratcher to me how Kamala Harris got, it looks like, about 6 million less votes than Biden got. And people were so much more fired up this time. And he gets the same amount as last time. Whatever. A million more, less than a million more. And she gets 6 or 7 million less. And I can't explain that. But what I do know is we don't want him to be our president. But he is our president. I'm not disputing that. I'm not claiming there's some sort of fraud or anything. I'm saying it doesn't make any sense why more people wouldn't have voted for her when the same number of people voted for him as last time. And it's really frustrating. And if it's because they thought he wouldn't do what he did last time, well, we found out a week ago that he won the election. And he's already doing the same things he did last time. He's got the people he's appointing to his cabinet already the threatening call with Ukraine, and already the denial from the Kremlin that there even was a call with Trump and Putin. It's just all the nonsense again, like that somebody is lying. And it's always involving something with Trump. It always involves something that Trump said. It's always lying. And this is what makes me crazy. It's what makes all of us crazy. I see all the comments. It is just so heartening because I know we are not taking this lying down. I know we are not just going, oh, well, I guess it's 4 years of whatever. We're not doing that. We may lose the House. It's not official yet. It's going to make it a really tough 2 years. But even the fight for the Senate leader, this John Thune, who I do not like, but I find myself rooting for him because he's not as much of a Trumper as someone that Trump wants. We see Marco Rubio getting appointed. I don't know, Secretary of State, was it? The dude knows nothing about foreign relations. He'll know how to try to be isolationist. And and I've made the mistake of listening to some history, some David McCullough, and it was this little audio thing. It's basically speeches that he did deliver over the course of his life, and they're read by him. A lot of commencement addresses so far. He does open up the intro with talking about one of his most important ones, which was on the 50th anniversary of the JFK assassination. It was on November 22nd, 2013, and I happened to be working in downtown Dallas then, and it was a chilly, rainy November day, and me and a couple of close coworkers walked across, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes across town in the rain, and we couldn't even be out in front of the stage. It was too crowded. We had to stand back behind it, and there was a video screen. We could hear him. That's the only time I've ever heard his voice in person. And it's just pretty cool knowing that was the highlights of his life, is being there in that moment and sharing that moment with him. And if he had lived to see us do this again, when you're hearing him, and all he's doing oftentimes is reading kind of our sacred history documents about what founding fathers said, about what presidents said, about what people have said about America, just in awe of what we had. And I won't say have, that remains to be determined. But, and to see what Donald Trump does, and to see that he does this with 30% of Americans who are eligible to vote. And it makes me upset at the other 70%. Like, I mean, the actual turnout was, I think it was like 160 million, out of 244. So less than a 2/3 turnout. It's just, I don't know what to do. Everybody laid it all out there this time, and I know that as far as trying to get people to vote, and that people just didn't vote. I don't get it. And then the other thing is, in the comments, the Trumpers who are suddenly have totally shifted from 4 years ago when we stole the election from them, and they're gonna fight it all in court, and they're gonna storm the Capitol, and they're gonna burn it all down, and they're gonna have the only president in history, their guy, to ever not accept the results of a Democratic presidential election in this country. Now, like the next day, it's all, we've all got to come together now. This is legitimate. This is everybody's. He is all of our president, and it's just nauseating, laughable, of course, as always. And I thank the comments. The algorithm thanks you, getting more traction for people. Putting a few extra bucks in my pocket never hurt. So I do thank you all for watching and commenting, and just know that we're laughing and you are all ridiculous. And I'm not reaching out to you right now to try to win your vote, because that's 4 years away. And honestly, right now, I'm not in a place where I want your vote. I just want you to be quiet, like I would have been quiet had my girl won. I would have. I'm not a sore winner, and I'm typically not a sore loser. But when it comes to my country, when it comes to a thing that exists like nothing ever has in human history, and how it just gets trampled on by the likes of Donald Trump and by the likes of Elon Musk, and okay, I made a comment in the last video about. Or maybe it was Saturday's video, that I'm seeing a lot of coverage about Elon Musk with Donald Trump. Like, he was in their family photo, and he's like the first lady, and he just can't get enough of the spotlight. Just like when he first leaped onto the stage with the first campaign appearance with Trump. He cannot get, he puts Trump to shame when it comes to his lust for the cameras. And he's not a natural like Trump is. I will say for Trump, he is an amazing entertainer. I watched I think I watched the first 2 seasons of Apprentice, and I just found it riveting. I knew it was ridiculous, but I just found it entertaining. I found him hilarious. He was just just his Trump everywhere, and then I started reading how it was all staged, and it wasn't even his boardroom that they staged it in, because his boardroom at his company was so just seedy and trashy and pathetic and 70s shag carpet and just old beat up dingy furniture. They had to construct a quote boardroom for him to do the show on, because his was just ridiculously embarrassing. And they literally invented the persona of a successful businessman. All he was at the time was someone who had declared bankruptcy 4 times, and there were 2 more through the course of the filming of The Apprentice. So there is nothing about the man's life that is successful, and yet he's elected to be the president twice. And it just shows you how susceptible people are to all of this. But I go back to Musk and Trump. I think something that might work, because we've seen this from Trump in his first term, that when people get too popular, he freaks out. He freaked out with Steve Bannon, who basically got him elected the first time, just kicked him right out, because Steve Bannon was partially seen as taking a little bit of credit and was on a magazine cover. We saw it with Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx. Their press conferences educating us on how to try to find our way through the beginnings of COVID. He made them not be up in front talking to people. He took over the daily press conferences in himself, just standing in front of them. He's always got to be in front of them, just like he did with the Zelensky hostage video. He's always got to be in front. And I don't know how this Musk thing is going to go. CNN, if you're watching, or MSNBC or CBS, if you could just run stories about Elon Musk, just give him the spotlight, give him the microphone, do interviews with him, just completely ignore Trump. Just do it for I'm not saying do it for 4 years. I'm saying do it for a week. Dude will flip out, and that will be the beginning of a rift with Musk. It will not take much. We saw how fragile his brain is and his ego is and his psyche is in that one beautiful debate with Kamala Harris. I mean, she just, I don't know, she just teed him up time after time, and he could not recover. He would always take the bait, and he would keep returning back. Like 9 questions later, he'd keep coming back and using his time to address something she said earlier. And man, I'm telling you, I really think that is a tactic that could work here to drive a wedge between Musk and Trump. We don't need Musk to have any more visibility than he has. The other idea about Musk is we can't do X anymore. I wish all the athletes would stop. You can't have a sports story. I'm a big Dallas Mavericks fan. You've got Luka Doncic, you've got Kyrie Irving, you've got Klay Thompson now. And these guys do amazing things. And NBA players and other athletes watch NBA games. And they're always on the broadcast, they're always like on halftime, if it's on TNT, they'll show what so-and-so is watching the game right now, and here's what they tweeted, or here's what they posted on X. And I just stop. Just leave the platform. I left Twitter back in the middle of Trump's first term. It was driving me crazy. It was terrible for my psychological well-being. I was trying to do some stock option trading. I was trying to follow all his stuff, all the trade wars that he would start. and he would lose, and then he'd stop him, and then he'd start him again, and it was terrible. Like, it almost gave me a heart attack. Probably my heart rate was terrible all the time. My blood pressure was through the roof. I've never been on any blood pressure medication, and I still haven't, but I probably should have been back at that time. Now I just have fun with it. Even though my quote fun is watching him tear down our democracy again, and watching 30.7% of eligible to vote Americans support that. Don't forget that number. Less than 31% of eligible voting Americans actually voted for him in this. And if you think not getting 69% of the vote means you have a mandate, I'm sorry, it doesn't. It means nothing of the sort. So we've got to drive the wedge between him and Elon Musk. We've got to just get off X. It's really not that hard. Especially people that have influence, like athletes. Like, a lot of people probably think they get their news from X, but Elon Musk has turned it into an all-time misinformation cesspool. To the point where, I'm not on Facebook either. I signed up for it long ago and haven't checked on it in years and years and years. And it seems like it's hard, especially with Facebook, because, that's how you keep in touch with family, or this or there. You know what? They'll find you. They can have your phone number. If it's someone that you went to school with in 8th grade and you've lost touch with them, it's probably a reason you lost touch with them. You don't need to maintain touch with them. And if there is, reach out to them. Find another way. But X is just, it's so fleeting. Like, whatever you've posted on it today or an hour ago or yesterday, you don't even remember anymore. And you don't even remember what anybody else posted on it either. It's not lasting. It's not something where, like the book that I'm reading, the history book, the David McCullough book. I don't have it on my shelf. I was seeing if I could remember the name of it. I can't. Those are things that you will remember. I remember him talking about Teddy Roosevelt. I remember him talking about John Adams. I remember a John Adams biography where John Adams' dad was a farmer, and John Adams got to go to law school because his dad worked so hard on the farm. And then that gave John Adams a better life. He was also a farmer. But then that better life let him give his son, John Quincy Adams, a life of a diplomat and a president, and one of our most intelligent, accomplished presidents, even though he only had one term. So that's another thing that was setting me off when I probably shouldn't read these history books, is the value of education and the value that generations ascribe to it. And what Trump has stirred up is this hatred, really, of education, this hatred and undermining of expertise. It is exactly what the Soviets did when the communists took over, when the Bolsheviks took over. They just undermined the education system. They want people to be stupid. They want people to be uneducated. If you read history books, you will know what a danger Trump is and how terrible all of this is. And I'm not stopping here with the election. I don't know when I'll stop. And I don't want you guys to ever stop either. One more thing regarding severing ties with people in my reevaluating relationships. I thought I was pretty clear, but that is not a wholesale, hey, if someone voted for Trump, cut them out of your life. That's not it at all. That is just saying, if people are like this, it's the only guy I've done this with, the one I mentioned in that video. But if they're just so in the deep end where they're not only not adding value to your existence, but they're actively trying to harm you, and they're not adding any value to you, I I believe it's okay, not just because of Trump, but just life in general. It's okay and probably advisable to evaluate your relationship sometimes. In this case, the supporting Trump is kind of a broad brush because, like I said, that is 30% of all eligible voting Americans. But it's not hard to know who I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about people who vote for Trump and you don't know it. I'm not talking about people who voted for Trump and you do know it. I'm talking about the people who are just so insufferable that they're just not adding any value to your life. That's all I'm talking about. It's probably not a lot of people for you. It's only this one guy for me. The rest of them I can fight through. So I don't want Trump to win. I don't want him to drive families and friends apart. But there will be some casualties in relationships. There already have been over the last 9 years. They're just going to be more. So wanted to get that cleared up because I do think family is important. I do think friends are important. That's that's a lot. That's a lot. But I think there's just a lot to go on. He's continuing to appoint more cabinet members, and we will discuss more of them. But as far as the EPA goes, that's real. It's not surprising, but it is disappointing, and there will be more of that. So we're a week into this thing, and it's going to be interesting. So that's it. That's it for now, and we'll talk again in a day or two.